Day everyone. My name is Lawrence Chauke. I am from South Africa. I'm a member of the PIARC Road Safety Technical Committee. I'm also a member of the PIARC Global Road Safety Knowledge Exchange Program. I will be presenting today on vulnerable road users. This is a summary of what my presentation will entail. The first part will be the vulnerable road users safety fundamentals, followed by vulnerable road users safety issues. Thirdly, that will be the vulnerable road user safety measures. And lastly, that will be the recommendations. Each year, 1.35 million people are killed on the world roads, and a further 50 million are injured. And with the majority, over 90%, occurring in low and medium income countries. I'm sure we can all agree that this is very high. Death rate due to road traffic injuries in low and medium income countries are 3 times higher than in high income countries. That is, you comparing 7.5 versus 8.3 per 100,000 population. That is very, very high. And despite the increase in global attention and progress in policy making at national level, the number of road safety casualties increased in 87 low and medium income countries since 2013. In most low and medium income countries, the majority of road users are your vulnerable road users. That is your pedestrians, cyclists, and those use motorized 2 or 3 wheelers. If you look at the graph on this presentation, you'll see that in low medium income countries, for example, your pedestrians, cyclists, and your 2 wheelers combined are over 57%. And you can compare that, for example, with Europe and Central Asia, where the figures are very, very low. If one looks at the distribution of death by road user type, this is a report on road safety by the World Health Organization. That's the 2018 report. You can see that, for example, in Africa, pedestrians there, death of pedestrians is over 40%. If you compare that with the rest of the world, which is at 23%. And the same applies to Southeast Asia, where the majority of your low and medium income countries are situated. 43% of deaths on our roads are from those who are operating your 2 to 3 wheelers. And this is very high. If one looks now at the safety issues affecting your vulnerable road users, in most cases, the belief is that your pedestrians and cyclists are your vulnerable road users. But it should be noted, however, that we do have other types. And these are your power 2-wheelers or PTWs, who in most cases are less visible, less protected, and less stable. We also have your slow and small agriculture vehicles. These are vehicles that are normally very, very slow as compared to other traffic. And the operators are also less protected. And we do have your novice and elderly car drivers. And your novice are very, very experienced, not as capable as those who are highly experienced. And you do have also your elderly, who might, in the event of an accident, get challenges in terms of recovery. And we also do have, lastly, your road workers, who are also vulnerable because they are also exposed to traffic and risk coming from traffic. I will now maybe go deeper and look at characteristics of pedestrians. We do have those who are walking along a road or a developed area. Most of them are not as protected as maybe someone who's in a vehicle. And there's also a number of reasons, for walking. Among others, it could be for work, or school, or even for leisure. There's also subgroups in terms of pedestrians. Among others, you have children, your elderly, and people living with disabilities, or people with impaired mobility. And the same applies to cyclists. If one looks at their characteristics, we do have those who are riding two-wheeled or even three-wheeled cycle. With most of these two-wheeled and three-wheeled cycles being a means of traffic in your low and medium income countries. And in some high income countries, obviously these two-wheeled and three-wheeled are mainly used for recreational purposes. In terms of usage, anyone of any age can use them. And they also have further subgroups. These are pedal operated or electric assisted. And if one looks at your PTW's characteristics, these are your two-wheeled motor vehicles of similar corporate low cost and are very, very affordable. That's why they are favorable in most of the low-income, medium countries. And in terms of ownership, in your low and medium income countries, that's where the highest numbers are. The biggest challenge here is that they are not fully protected, meaning most of the riders are not really wearing your helmet. And also enforcement is a challenge in many of these low medium income countries. And we do have other VRUs, and we'll look at their characteristics, like your light duty farm vehicle, animal drone vehicles. Biggest challenge, like I did mention earlier, is the speed. As you compare them with your regular traffic, they are very, very slow. And their riders are, in most cases, less protected, not wearing any seat belt. And even their passengers are also not protected. I will now look at factors related to vulnerable road users' safety. The vulnerable road users themselves are a safety to others, because you'll find that there are those who are sharing the same space. For example, a rider on a cycle who interact with a pedestrian. And that's where maybe sometimes a conflict will come, especially in terms of the shared space. Fatalities among the vulnerable road users are very high in low and medium income countries, and mainly due to the following: lack of resources, especially to provide and maintain adequate and safe infrastructure, funding challenges, the issue of land use planning, where those who are in planning really don't accommodate the vulnerable road users. And also there's also the challenge of unsafe behavior, where people in some instances don't wear protective gear and they find themselves being the victims. Low and medium income countries have greater variety and intensity of traffic mix, where you find slow moving and vulnerable non-motorized road users having a conflict with those who are fast, like the motorized vehicles. If one looks at the vulnerable road users' fashion and maybe the factors for pedestrian crashes, in most cases, these are drivers, vehicle, roadway or environment, demographic or social or policy issues. And just being a pedestrian is also a challenge. And some of the reasons include the following: careless crossing, disobeying your traffic lights, jaywalking, misjudgment of speed gap, and in most cases, especially in the low and medium income countries, the lack of proper facilities. I will now look at the measures to address these challenges. I will look at visual segregation by age markings. This may be associated with the reduction of lane width, contributing to traffic calming. So the traffic calming is very important in ensuring the safety of the vulnerable road users. Another measure is a wider and paved shoulder, although it might contribute to speeding or unsafe overtaking. Appropriate traffic lane width, that's also very important. Although it might create erratic movement of vehicles, but it may be considered along with separated facilities for vulnerable road users. We also have segregated footpath, segregated lane for cyclists or walkers, proper crossing facilities that are combined with crossing, relocated bus stops, especially those that will connect with your footpath, or safe crossing facilities. But your curbing and barriers, and as well as traffic calming. Other measures for pedestrians. Pedestrians at intersections. Measures will be your zebra crossing with or without a central refuge. Installation of pedestrian fences and central refuge, especially because pedestrians tend to go for shortcuts. So it's important that you channel them into safe crossing facilities. A minor road central refuge at a marked crossing place, traffic signal to control movements at intersections, pavement markings to restrict parking, installation of cabin extensions, signs and equipment. And for pedestrians crossing and signing, dedicated signs and markings, and traffic calming measures. And for pedestrian crosswalks, signals and lighting, then one will need to use a pedestrian face at the signals with symbols, the use of a pedestrian face at signals with numerical countdown display, acoustic signals or tactile knobs at crossings, and appropriate lighting. For sidewalk accessibility, it's important that sidewalks are obstruction-free. And in terms of work zones, it's important that adequate protective barriers and longitudinal barricades are provided. And for cap ramps, it's important to use the cap ramps at intersections because they're also very, very useful for cycle paths. The addition of tactile strips across the width of the sidewalks leading to the crosswalks is also important. And other measures for vulnerable road users. For pedestrians and cyclists crossing multiple lane road section. It's recommended that 50 km/h speed limit dedicated marking or signs or rumble strips. Middle island by reducing the lane width and protecting by a barrier. Traffic signals for pedestrians and or cyclists, depending on the traffic volume. And for variable road users at high traffic volume intersections, one can look at signpost alternative cycle route away from junction. Modify the layout of the intersection to cater for the cyclists. Marking signing and signals at intersections. Consider as well pre-start in time or space for cyclists and pre-start in time or space for motorcyclists. Medians and refuge islands painted on the road surface. It's also important. And then in terms of recommendations, road design should include a self-explaining and failure-forgiving road. This is according to the need of the road user. This is in line with the same system approach, where we are expected as designers to provide self-explaining and failure-forgiving road. And key message for road engineers and designers is to include variable road users in the design process. As a designer, you must ask yourself, what if the person crossing was a child? What if it's a blind person crossing? What if it's an elderly person crossing? What is a disabled person or person living with disabilities crossing? And key requirements to achieve that is to give the road users enough time. The road must provide a safe field of view. The road environment must correspond with the road user's perception. And to ensure compliance, measures of communication, education, and enforcement, including special warning signs and campaigns should be employed. PIARC is boosting road safety in low and medium income countries. Vulnerable road users' safety is key priority for increasing road safety. PIARC Road Safety Technical Committee has provided a detailed presentation of the relevant safety issues along with overview of possible design and remedial measures for each type of vulnerable road user subgroups, respecting the safe system approach. PIARC is engaged in promoting road safety all over the world and committed to actively support safety in low and medium income countries. The new knowledge sharing campaign for road safety will provide monthly updates on social media and on PIARC website for all essential road safety areas.